Hello, my name is Meredith White, and I teach Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Sorry for the delay there. I was like making sure all the things are doing all the things. I had a conversation today with a teacher that I work with in another content area, and they mentioned having like kind of a portfolio of things. Anyways, like those conversations that always come up about like folders, portfolio, materials in class, materials out of class. And especially for those of us with large classes, my classes are always 30, 35 plus. How do we keep all those things straight? Like, how do we keep the materials straight that we want to give them, the materials that we want them to keep, like all of the above? So, it also made me think of a recent video that I recorded about unit copies. So I give students, or work really hard to give, once in a while it fails me, but I've in the last 3 years really worked to give all of their unit materials in one fell swoop. Just here you go. Here's everything we're gonna like write on, read, etc. And that has been really successful for me for a number of reasons. First of all, students see your intention and they see that we have lots planned. They can look ahead, they can catch up. So it's both remediation and extension. And a lot of which is by students' own volition. Furthermore, it's also a nice backup plan for like substitute plans, unexpected absences. And a lot of times, again, like in large classes, you can see students not be as invested because there's a lot of them and they might see what's going on as busy work or the like. And when you give them everything together in one place, it, in so many words or not, sends the message of this is for real. This is like what we're doing. This is, especially as language teachers, this is a legitimate class. And I have my, stuff together enough to say, ta-da, like here you go, I can give it to you all. Now, that's not to say that you don't find something and add it in, but what I do for the unit copies, which I mentioned in that video, was once I get everything, ready to copy, whatever, I just hand number it in the corner. And if there's something I want to add later, I just number it like the next number. So let's say the last side of the last page that they have is 24. The next thing, if I find something I want to add, I can just number it 25. And then the next thing, 26, whatever. So it's not to say you're like stuck with whatever you decided, but it is really nice for, like I said, last minute plans or pacing. You look up and you're like, oh my gosh, we still have 15 minutes left. Cool, let's go ahead and do the thing we were going to do first thing tomorrow, and I can adjust because they already have everything. So to me, it's just good old-fashioned lesson planning. And I know some people have the ability to not lesson plan and just, whatever, wing it or come in on a whim, but I'm in a large department in a large school, in a large district with a pretty set curriculum. So I have a lot of freedom in a lot of ways, but that is just not one of them. I need to have a plan and I need to have targets posted and objectives and really be ready to talk about why we're doing what we're doing at any given moment. So what you see here, this is what the conversation was today, is the little box, and I actually need to get some bigger boxes soon, of what students have for their unit handouts. So you've got, the classes are all color-coded, so different color codes for different classes here. And you'll see the other groups here. This is not pictured, the other 6 groups. Yeah, a lot of students. So what they have in each box is each student that sits there throughout that day's folder. And within that folder, like I said, are those unit copies, but are also all their quizzes, tests, vocabulary sheets, all of those kind of things. I keep a little IKEA frame. Whoops, wrong side. I keep a little IKEA frame too here with reminders, but those can be used for a number of different things. And then, of course, we've got like a class set of books, which we super rarely use, but, it's another resource. Again, if you get to where you're like, we just need to do something, that might not be really sexy, but, by gosh, works towards our can-do statements for the unit, then there you go. So that's where those unit copies live, and that's where those folders live. These folders live here every day. So students, once we start doing stuff, get class started, whatever, they go ahead and pull it out and they work from there. The copies are by no means chronological, so I do not at all, even remotely close, try to put them in order. But some of the things will stay the same. So like different templates may stay the same. You know, different task sheets, different check-ins, if there's like a grade flow chart that you use at the end of the unit, like anything that's kind of that you just change the content of, I keep the same for each unit. And there's something else that made me think of. What was I going to say? Can't remember. But anyway, every group has the same setup, so it's really nice. If they want to study the stuff in their folder, they obviously can. They can just take it home. And we also have, because I have digital copies of everything, which is how I get the copies, a lot of those things can also really be easily put onto our LMS or into a GoFormative assignment, which we use for classwork, or whatever, you know, whatever students request. So if they, you know, want to study at home and don't have their folder or whatever, all of our vocabulary is also in Quizlet. All of the Quizlet sets and Quizlet games are like there. And the in-class assignments with a lot of pictures and listening and all those kind of things, especially made comprehensible, lots of scaffolding for some good input, is also there in GoFormative. So students have a lot of things in a lot of places. But that is what our conversation today was about. What I used to do was, there is a video further down on the World Language Teacher Share High Leverage Habits playlist. So this playlist, there's one further down that's like about carts and folders. So I used to have them like way over here on the other side of the room, live in little carts, but then I got these desks, and these, I went from deskless to fully desked because we had the chairs had to go elsewhere, and I was politely asked to like surrender those chairs, and that was totally fine. And I got these new desks, but they're like very large and very unwieldy. So there is quite literally zero room for those big like what do you call it, like drawers that held the folders before. So before, each class had like its own drawer in each group, but we cannot make that happen. There is no room. We are like stuffed in super, super tight, and students do the best they can, but it really, yeah, it's close quarters. So I'm probably going to get some new boxes soon, now that we are like about to be 3 units in, because you can see that these are that's about as much as that's going to hold. So I need to get something wider, but these were at the Target dollar spot. And after last year, not really having to think about paper at all, I splurged and got these, and, you know, thought they were fine, but we're going to need something bigger. So in the past, like I said, I had those big drawers. Maybe I'll actually just pull out those drawers and put those in the middle of each. Be super tacky. I don't care, because what are you gonna do? And like I said, the classes are all color coded, so it's fine. Kids can really easily pick out their folder, and it's no big deal. So that is one system that saves me a lot of time and a lot of thinking. I know this is probably tacky just having a photo here. This is not a very like well put together video, but it had just come up in conversation, and I thought, well, let me, you know, show the modifications, because I know I have that previous video, but this is kind of how we're doing it these days, with merging all of the electronic resources from last year plus like paper, and we're happy to have it this year. It's a lot to think about. So